Welcome to the Two Ton Nerds. As always, my name is Max James, and in this video, I'm just going to be talking about a bunch of different subjects because I'm doing this project called Let's Watch True Blood, and I don't really want to get the channel bogged down on one project. So every couple Saturdays, I will be sitting down and just recording just my thoughts on a bunch of different subjects that has happened over the last couple of weeks, or news articles, or just whatever, or just a movie that I have not watched in a long time. Just a bunch of different subjects, and I thought I'd start with today, and I have a bunch of stuff I want to talk about. It's been a while since I've actually kind of shared my thoughts on other than True Blood or something else. So the first up is Return to Newcomb High, Volume 1. I found that I got this at Walmart. I am so surprised that I found this at Walmart despite what goes on in this movie, and I'm proud of Walmart for for having this movie on their shelves, just because it supports independent filmmaking, and as well, it's a great movie. And if you've ever seen a Troma movie, you know what to expect. But at the same time, this movie does kind of throw Troma out the window a little bit and rebuild its name. Because it looks so much better. If you took Poultrygeist, which is the last movie that I bought of Troma, and you put Return to Newcomb High next to him, it's so vast on how different these movies looked. You got Return to Newcomb High, it's shot in high definition. You got the special effects are amazing. The acting is actually really pretty decent in this movie. Then you got what else? Just odds not. It was actually really good. The music was actually pretty good. Like I said, the Troma movies are more known for what their gross out and their over the top death scenes, and it was really fun. And this movie isn't for everybody. That's plain and simple, and it's fun to watch. I will recommend this to anybody who is a Troma fan or who knows of Troma that gets kind of a kick out of that kind of humor. So, next up is The Wolf of Wall Street. I love this movie. I know I've read tons of articles and comments where people don't like it, and a bunch of people that do like it, and I love this movie. It's a 3-hour movie. It's just awesome. I really dug this movie all the way through. I didn't feel like it dragged on. The editing was great. The acting was superb. What else was there? I wasn't really shocked by the nudity and what was going on in the movie. I really wasn't, because I just don't see it as shock factor anymore. I kind of see it as like plot. I see it as artistic plot devices or artistic decisions. If you need to show an actor doing something bad, might as well show them doing something bad in order to get over the audience that they're doing that being a bad guy. And it's like, well, instead of saying like, oh, he shot a kid, and it's like, okay, well, you actually show him shooting the kid, and then that'll be a whole different ball game than actually show him being. It doesn't happen in the movie. I'm just trying to make a point. And so it's like, if you complain that Leonardo DiCaprio is so as a drug-fueled stockbroker, let's make him a drug-fueled stockbroker. I mean, that's exactly what you need. That's what you need to have. And Jonah Hill, he's awesome in that movie, and that's what you need to do in these movies. Is like, if you want to show somebody bad, prove to the audience that he's bad. And if you don't like it, well, too bad. There's worse crap going on in life than what's going on in these movies. That's plain and simple. Next, I have a list of actually what I want to talk about. Next up is games. I have a different couple subjects. Next, I'm getting ready to play the Last of Us Left Behind DLC. I know I'm way behind on that, but I'm kind of glad I waited, because I kind of started to build up my momentum, or whatever you want to call it, how do I want to put it, my need to play this game again because I love The Last of Us, the world that Naughty Dog has built. And me and Scott went through like a 2-hour podcast and went through the entire game. And we knew that there was a single player DLC coming out when we did that, and we were hoping, and this is gonna be what I wanted, and so I cannot wait to play it. And I know it takes place with Ellie and her friend, and I know she mentions her, so I'm excited to see a kind of a nice prequel leading up to what I'm going to play. So what I played. So, and then also it's National Tabletop Day on the Geek and Sundry YouTube channel, and I've been watching that quite a bit today as well. And I'm not a tabletop player, but I would like to be. In certain aspects, I'm not a card tabletop player. I'm not really into Magic or Pokemon or whatever you want, whatever card aspect of the tabletop. I would be more into like Dungeons and Dragons. I'd rather be sitting talking and kind of like, oh, we're going to be doing this and this and this, and rather than flipping a card over and stuff like that. I find talking about an adventure rather than playing a card game seems more enthusiastic to me. So that's just how I am. I'm more of a visual kind of person, so if I want a picture or a castle we're getting ready to take over, and if I need a shield, I can picture it and stuff like that. So rather than having a picture in front of me, because whatever you thought in your head will be so much better than what you actually see in a card form or whatever. So that's how I kind of justify me wanting to play Dungeons and Dragons. I just want to sit down with some of my best friends and just kind of play. I know I've never played a tabletop game kind of like that. I mean, I've played board games, like Monopoly and Sorry and Cards Against the Humanity and stuff like that, but nothing kind of like in that kind of direction. So, but I would love to. I would love to kind of be introduced to that world in the more Dungeons & Dragons-esque way, and rather than cards. So, card game. What is up next? Wrestling. I am a huge wrestling fan. I have been a wrestling fan for a very long time. And tonight is Saturday, so the Hall of Fame will be on in about a couple of hours. So I thought I'd just sit down and record my thoughts about other stuff as well. Plus this is kind of like the highlight of the video for me. You got Jake the Snake, you got Lita, the Ultimate Warrior, and then you got Razor Ramon, Paul Bear, then you got who else? Carlos Colon and Mr. T. I could care less about Mr. T. I'm not a big Mr. T fan, but I understand why he's coming in, because he was part of the main event in Wrestlemania 1. I'm a huge Razor Ramon fan. Say goodnight to the bad guy, and kind of like, yeah, I love Razor Ramon. He was a good bad guy. Carlos Colon, don't know much about him. I know I was a fan of Carlito, his sons, and Primo. I think that's who his other son is, or his nephew, or whatever. I'm not a fan of his gimmick right now. The whole Los Matadores stuff. I'm like, if they want to have a luchador thing, I will be 110% behind a luchador kind of thing, division, or the cruiserweight. I would love for WWE to bring the cruiserweight, like the more smaller guys, just to be fighting the smaller guys. That'd be so much funner. Who else you got? Jake the Snake. I don't think he will be talking. I think DDP will be talking for him. And I understand he had throat surgery for cancer, to remove cancer or something like that. And DDP is a big part of his life nowadays. If you don't, because DDP does this thing called yoga, or Diamond Dallas Page. He does this thing called DDP yoga, and he practically saved Scott Hall, Razor Ramon, and not DDP, but Jake the Snake's life, just by integrating that into their routine and just regaining the strength and making them kind of all the way around healthier. And that's DDP is the perfect person to induct him into the Hall of Fame. Lita, she was one of the pivotal divas, and with Trish Stratus, and I think I liked Lita more than Trish Stratus, because she was more of a better wrestler, I think. Not taking away from Trish Stratus, I was just more into Lita. Then who else you got? Because of Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy and even Essa Rios, I even remember her when she was with him, and it was like, so I followed Lita more than I followed Trish. Then you got, who else? Ultimate Warrior. He's going to load up his rocket ship with fuel and display off into space. That's what I'm waiting on more than any of them, their introduction speech, because Ultimate Warrior has a tendency to kind of say whatever, and you don't know what he's going to say, so I can't wait for that. And then Sunday is WrestleMania 30, and hosted by the immortal icon himself, Hulk Hogan, and it's going to be fun. The matchups for the card for the night are really great. Some better than others. I think the weakest one, personally, to me, is probably the Shield versus Kane and the Outlaws, New Age Outlaws, but I could be wrong. That could be the best match of the night, because Shield has a tendency to put on some of the best matches in a long time I've seen, because their latter I can't remember what pay-per-view it was, where they were fighting, and it was like their first pay-per-view, and it was like, oh my god, that was a good, awesome match. But I could be wrong. That could be the one that steals the show. And of course you got Daniel Bryan and Triple H, which I cannot wait for that as well. Just the whole card actually has a nice lineup. I mean, actually everything seems to be built up very well. The only thing that didn't seem to be built up very well is the Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar match. That was, I don't know who should be fighting. I think Brock Lesnar is the perfect choice right now, but if you could have built this up a little bit sooner and a little bit better, I think it would have been a lot better. But overall, I'm going to enjoy WrestleMania regardless. So there's going to be some moments that are going to be pretty well, and I'm very looking forward to the Bray Wyatt versus Cena match. So I know this isn't for everyone, wrestling, but I love wrestling. And next up is TV. I have two shows that I'm looking forward to, or that I finished, and I'm also looking for. I just finished Walking Dead season 4. And I finished it in like 2 days. I binge watched, and I highly behind the whole binge watching kind of thing, because some shows are kind of more built to be binge watched. Walking Dead is one of them, and some shows are kind of more built to be episodic, like wrestling and Shameless. I mean, I love to watch that show in bulk, but you kind of need a week to process everything that's happened in the episodes, and like Supernatural, you can binge watch that all day long, and so there's geese outside, and that's about it. And then the show I'm looking forward to most this summer is, of course, or this spring, is Game of Thrones. I cannot wait. I'm holding off on watching Game of Thrones until I can actually watch it with the people that I usually watch Game of Thrones with, which probably won't happen for a couple days, so I can't wait. So the anticipation is going to be building up quite a bit, knowing that everyone else has seen it but me, and I can actually, but I'm going to hold off so I can be surprised while I watch it with my friends. And I'm also mad that Being Human got canceled. I was a big fan of the Being Human TV show. I'm behind on a few episodes, so I'm gonna kind of catch up before the season finale on Monday. So that's really all I gotta say. I mean, I enjoyed getting a lot of this out of me, because sometimes I just don't have no one to talk to about this kind of stuff. To set my webcam, and because a lot of people don't like the stuff that I like. So that's all I gotta say. My name is Max James, and I'll be returning in a couple weeks, and I'm going to go geek out.